will tear your soul apart. Well, I won't. What is up, my fellow movie lovers, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Luke Ponto. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video here today. Hope you all enjoy your stay, because my special video that I've been holding back on for this month, releasing close to Halloween. That's right, you guys. I'm going to be talking about my favorite horror film of all time, and that would be Hellraiser. This movie came out all the way back in 1987, directed by the one and only Clive Barker. This was his feature film debut that he ever directed, and this is based off works by Clive Barker. And it has a pretty decent cast, including Doug Bradley as the one and only Pinhead. A woman discovers the newly resurrected, partially formed body of her brother-in-law. She starts killing for him to revitalize his body so he can escape the demonic beginnings that are pursuing him after he escaped their sadistic underworld. So the very first time that I ever watched Hellraiser was actually back in early 2020. I watched that about a month or so before the pandemic started, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like what I have it as right now, but the more and more I kept thinking about Hellraiser, and the more I loved it, and it has now come across to be my favorite horror film of all time. I watched it again on May 10th, which was my birthday. I watched it again to end off my birthday. I had such a great day that day. I figured to end off the day, which would be to watch my favorite horror film of all time, which is Hellraiser. I adore this film with all my heart, and I actually just recently watched it again this month. Wait, did I watch it again this month? I think I did. But if you guys want to go check out my Letterboxd to see if I watched it again this month, go right ahead. Wait, no, I did. I did watch it again this month, and my God, this film, it honestly gets even better every single rewatch for me. I love Hellraiser. Most of that really has to go with these effects, of the look of the Cenobites, especially Pinhead himself, which he looks creepy AF, bro. And also, I love the look of his the other guys as part of the Cenobites as well. I think they look creepy as well. The looks of them just seem so haunting to me. And my God, if anybody really goes into this film expecting so much Pinhead, something similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's you have Leatherface slashing through these guys, or in this film, you have Pinhead just going through all these poor guys, just slashing them one by one. That is not what you're going to get out of this movie. That is not what you're going to get. Because Zach Gawler, if you're watching this, my friend, I'm just going to say this. I'm glad I did warn you not to expect a lot of Pinhead when going into this movie, because he did review this movie as part of his Halloween special earlier this year. So shout out to you, my man. Yeah, I did tell him not to expect a lot of Pinhead, and he did warn his viewers that if you expect a lot of this iconic horror character, and if you just expect a lot of that, you're going to be disappointed, especially with the poster that I showed at the beginning of this video. If you saw that poster that I showed you, the Pinhead feels very prominent to the marketing strategy of this movie. So don't go in expecting so much Pinhead because of that poster. That is not it, because there's something deeper in this movie, basically kind of a more romance side with this film. It's basically kind of a messed up romance film, basically, as my buddy Tyler says. But my God, I love the way this world is built, and also the look of the look of the Cenobites. Dude, these effects are so seamless to me. I love the effects of this movie, and the way that Clive Barker did these effects, and how he was able to create this story, create these characters out of his own story. That is something that should be worth the praise, because that is quite the accomplishment right there, in my opinion. And plus, it was all the way back in 1987, so basically, he had to be commended for that in any regard. Even though he would, and I know he would go on later to make stories like Candyman at some facets. But I think this is the story that really helped him get his career on track, like with the stories that he has made. Like, my goodness gracious, this story is so messed up. And also like the romance story of this movie, very messed up. And those, dude, I can't really speak enough praise about Hellraiser. I can't at this point. Like, the kills in this film are really good. And honestly, what really helps this film also is the characters. The characters in this film don't really feel like dumb horror movie characters. Because there's so much depth that is actually thrown into the story, like with some of these characters, you actually care about these characters when they're being killed. It's like in some facets where you're just like, you don't want this person to die. And it's just like, if somehow they die, you're just like, no, why do they have to do that? You know, in some ways like that. Like the characters in this film you actually do care about. It's not like a generic horror film where you do not care about any of the characters, like, whatsoever. Like, this one really makes you care about the characters because of the depth behind them. And my God, I really do like how Clive Barker actually makes you care about the characters in many facets. But I know this is my favorite horror film of all time, but some people definitely will complain about some of the CGI lightning, like, that comes out of this like little music box thing, basically, that summons Pinhead and the other Cenobites. I know that effect really seems dated at this point, like, but just, I mean, I'll give them a pass for that, since because it is all the way back in 1987, they did not really have much money for it. Like, at a budget of like $1 million, you can't really, back at that time, you really could not really have that much for effects or anything like that. Like, but in today's standards, it really is no excuse. Like, if this movie was made in today's standards and it had this type of effects, this would be considered to be one of the worst horror films of all time because of those effects. But with this type of effects back in 1987, there's a reason why this film has influenced so many horror film buffs. Like, for anybody that is wanting to become a future horror filmmaker or anything. Like even though I came to this a little bit late in life, even though obviously I'm 18 right now, I watched this film back when I was 16, actually, for the very first time, which was about a year ago. But just what this film does so well for me is, of course, the characters, the makeup effects, and all that good stuff. Like, I absolutely adore Hellraiser with all of my heart. And if you guys have not seen Hellraiser, I really do recommend you guys check it out. Get on like a streaming service, Amazon Prime, Tubi, or anything like that. Please do yourself a favor and please watch this gem of a horror film. And you guys already know, I gotta give Hellraiser the well-deserved A+. My favorite horror film of all time, you guys all know. If you guys have not seen Hellraiser, like I said, check it out on streaming or go out and buy it on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, whatever feels necessary to you about this movie. This movie is my favorite horror film of all time. I cannot wait to revisit this film in the near future, and for many years to come. But obviously, this is just all my opinion. What do you guys think of Hellraiser? Do you guys love it as much as I do? Is this your favorite horror film of all time? Is this your favorite movie of all time? And also, let me know down below, what is your favorite film of the Hellraiser franchise? Is it this one? Is it Hellraiser 2? Is it 3? I don't know if it's any of the... Oh, dear God. I hope it's not Hellraiser Revelations or Hellraiser Judgment. If it is, if it is, that's totally fine. But I just hope it's not those two. But just make some noise down in the comment section below. Let's keep talking about this kind of stuff further. And if these topics sound appealing to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and click on that notification bell. Make sure you get notified of all videos I upload here on the channel. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up on your way out. I really would appreciate it. You guys are the best. Look forward for more awesome content hitting this channel very, very soon. Including, I'm still going to be seeing Last Night in Soho, so I will review it whenever I get a chance to see it. And also coming out next weekend is Eternals. I cannot wait to see that in the theater. I mean, you got to see that in the theater, obviously. But once again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys want to see more content from me, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.